Hi, hello, welcome back to the channel. We're going to be watching a show from Be Amazed. It's called Don't Judge the Skinny House from the Outside. It's better than you think. So let's go ahead and we will find out if it really
Since
is.
the dawn of time, one question has divided humans. Does size matter? I know what you're thinking, but I promise
For
it's not
homes,
that
sometimes it
kind of
does.
video. I'm talking about houses. And
Yeah,
while we tend to think the bigger the better,
not
sometimes the
necessarily.
small are just as mighty. Or should I say, the skinny.
God, look at
From
that.
slices of real estate pie to livable cowboy boots, don't judge these upcoming skinny houses from the outside. They're better than you think.
Plus, the bigger the house, the more time you got to waste cleaning it.
Pie House, Illinois. At a glance, this house seems pretty ordinary.
Sort of.
That is, until you take a peek at its side profile.
Oh my
But
God.
this Illinois home is known on the streets as Pie House. Why? Well, unfortunately, it's not because it's made of pie. Rather, it's pie-shaped.
Oh,
Yep, this
okay.
triangular abode angles down to an acute 3 feet on its smallest end and
Wow.
expands to approximately 20 feet at the other side.
Hmm.
With these credentials, you'd be forgiven for assuming it's no slice of heaven. But things get a whole lot tastier once you get inside. With 1,600 square feet, this slice of pie has a deceptive two-bedroom filling,
Pretty.
meaning a small family could easily set up camp here.
Hmm.
And with 2 bathrooms, there certainly wouldn't be any toilet queues either. With its strategic open floor plan, this house ditches excessive walls and instead allows rooms like the kitchen, dining room, and living area to seamlessly and spaciously flow into one
This would
another.
be okay for a
Who
single
needs
person
walls anyway?
or just a
But the
couple. I
question
don't know about a
remains,
family.
why would anyone choose to build this
Right.
life of pie? Allegedly, the Chicago suburb of Deerfield, which the Pie House calls home, has an ordinance which prohibits new houses from being built closer to the sidewalk than the average house on the street, meaning that what Pie
Okay.
House lacks in space is made up for in its lovely front yard. So, fancy a bite of this pie? Well,
Hmm.
dig deep, as this house sold in May 2021 for $295,000,
Wow.
which, according to Zillow, seems to be around average for houses of a similar caliber in the same area. Though
Hmm.
that is the only average thing about this house. In my eyes, this
That's a lot
American
of money.
pie is a deceptive treat. But what do you think? Let me know down in the comments.
I think it'd be okay for a single person or a couple.
Thurlow Square, London. Like most modern metropolises, London needs to squeeze every last drop out of its prime real estate. This,
Right.
unsurprisingly, often results in some fairly bizarre looking homes. Take Thurlow Square, located in South Kensington, for example. While its facade says act natural, as you navigate to the side, you'll
Oh
see
my
it's
God.
looking a little malnourished at just
That looks so
6 feet
strange.
wide. You've
Oh,
heard the
that's actually
term
wider than that
catfish,
house.
right? Well, for these deceptively skinny homes, I'm penning a new phrase: flatfish. But take this slender physique with a grain of salt, as it actually contains a fully loaded block of apartments. Yep,
Hmm.
apparently, way back in the 19th century, artists would flock to the boroughs of Kensington and Chelsea and set up their studios. So, construction whiz William Douglas saw this as prime time to capitalize on a recently demolished, albeit tiny plot on Thurlow Square. Impressively, in this meager wedge-shaped building, he managed to squeeze in
It's
7
also a
studios.
wedge.
And today, each
Wow.
one sells for a whopping $1 million.
Oh my
Despite the
God.
lackluster exterior, each 580 square foot home remarkably fits in 2 bedrooms and
580
2
square
bathrooms.
feet
And
for a
with a
million
spacious
dollars.
open plan, top notch decor throughout, and even a private terrace,
Hmm.
you'll forget all about the limited space. And while space is certainly limited, these skinny apartments are still located in the heart of London, one of the world's best loved cities. So,
Hmm.
whether you go big or small, you can never really expect a bargain there. Starter Home, Louisiana. While it's pretty commonplace to dream of a huge, fancy mansion, does anyone ever really need that much space?
Not
The
really.
office of Jonathan Tate, a housing firm in New Orleans, take a much more economical stance and instead create homes that provide only the space that is needed. They call them starter homes. Straying
Okay.
away from the cookie cutter approach, they aim to tailor each build to the needs of each prospective buyer, whilst also being environmentally friendly. How so? Well, their inaugural home, located in Louisiana, is built on a wood and steel frame and cladded with corrugated metal, meaning this home's recyclable, durable, and energy efficient. And with it taking up
Okay.
just 16.5 feet in width and 55 feet in depth,
Wow.
this home economizes the urban footprint. I know what you're thinking. It's a bit of an ugly duckling, right? Well, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And once you behold the interior, you might just change your tune.
Yeah, but you're looking at a
Inside, you'll
brick
find
wall.
a stunning home that adequately offers one bedroom, 1.5 bathrooms, a half bathroom meaning a room containing a toilet and wash basin, FYI, and even an office space, earning its title as the perfect starter home. At $315,000, this house's price isn't quite beginner friendly.
No.
However, the housing firm projects that prices will reduce as they continue to save the world one house at a time. La
I
Casa
guess if
Estrecha.
you're really desperate.
Located in San Juan, Puerto Rico, La Casa Estrecha
God, look
has a
at that.
pocket-sized 5-foot wide estate, meaning this skinny home is slimmer than most people are tall. But as everyone knows, the little ones are often the feistiest. And judging by that canary yellow paint job, this casa is no exception. Tetris blocked into a space of an old alleyway, this house
Wow.
surprisingly manages to squeeze in more than you might expect. Spread across 2 tiny stories, you will find a kitchen, dining room, living room, bedroom, and as all good homes have, a toilet, making this skinny house a
Toilet,
real
but not a
flush.
shower.
Seattle Spite House. Next up is another
Spite
serving
house.
of pie, located in Montlake, Seattle. Although its smallest end points to a tiny 55 inches,
Hmm.
this pie house gets a lot of mileage out of its 860 square feet of space, boasting an
Okay.
impressive 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, a kitchen, and a living room. And while all that is great, unfortunately, it's a bitter tasting pie. Why, I hear you ask? Well, let's just say this house isn't nicknamed Spite House for no reason. Yep, when it comes to this
It's not
house's
bad
origin,
looking.
local rumor has it that in a divorce settlement between
Hmm.
previous owners, the judge granted the husband the bulk of the marital home, while only sparing the wife a plot on the yard. But when life gives you lemons, there's only one thing to do: build a house on the lawn of your ex husband's place, right? Except this isn't the
Wow.
only tale tied to the Spite House. An alternate account says that the owner of the main house actually wanted to buy the triangular plot of land. Apparently, the cheapskate made such a low offer that the
Hmm.
irritated owner of the land decided to build what we now know as Seattle Spite House. Which makes total sense. Why accept money when you could spend a heap more constructing a whole house? Whichever of the two reported backstories is true, if
Mhm.
any at all, one idea seems to prevail. This house was built out of spite. What stings even more than the spite, though, is that this bitter abode is worth around
Oh my
$500,000.
God.
That said, Realtor.com suggests the average
Oof.
Seattle home costs around $750,000. So,
Wow.
all in
I
all,
guess they think
perhaps
that's
two
cheap.
bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and a whole heap of juicy
Oof.
gossip isn't too shabby for the price.
I guess for that area. Hmm.
Horinuchi, Japan. While it might look a bit like an overgrown storage unit on the outside, this slender Japanese house, situated in Horinuchi, Japan, is much more impressive on the inside. Since urban land is generally limited in Japan, tiny, spatially economic structures are more common than you'd think.
Hmm.
And while Horinuchi's 594 square feet of living space might seem a little tight-fisted, its whitewashed interior makes use of every nook and cranny, creating a surprisingly spacious environment. With 2 stories of minimalistic magic, this house manages to include all the basics and then some. On the ground
Okay.
floor, you'll find a hidden cozy bedroom, with a staircase that leads up to the open-plan first floor. This airy atrium approach manages to create the illusion of space, while also making room for a kitchen, dining area, and living room. What's more, there's also one last drop of space created by incorporating a mezzanine level that is easily
Hmm.
accessed by a ladder. This featherweight house exudes all the energy of a heavyweight chain.
So this house isn't bad. I mean, if you're just a single person, I mean, again, I don't think it's big enough for a family, but it's kind of nice looking, at least on the inside. I don't care for the look on the outside, but it's not a bad looking house, and you'd have plenty of room, and perhaps more room than what you would have in some apartments. So that's not bad. So I wonder if they're going to tell us what this one costs.
Champ. Once again, proving that it really isn't about size. It's how you use it, right?
True.
Right? Boot House, Texas.
Texas, of course.
Houses come in all shapes and sizes, and none exemplify this better than this cowboy boot located in Huntsville, Texas. It is genuinely a house, but hold it, partner, as it's quite the Southern belle once you get inside. With an annex adjoined to the back, this shoe buckles up 2 bedrooms, a living room, a kitchen, and even a rooftop terrace. And with 711 square feet, you can fit some surprisingly big feet into this shoe. So, which Billy the Kid is responsible for conceiving this bizarre abode? Local artist Dan Phillips. With recycled materials and the help of
Doesn't do
construction
anything for
workers,
me.
Dan was able to create
I don't think
this
I'd want that in my
rodeo of a
neighborhood
home,
either.
And renting it out for $1,200 a month means he's able to make a pretty penny from his avant-garde real estate. And he didn't stop there, though. In 2018, a year after completing the boot house, he constructed a neighboring matching hat home. Similar to its predecessor, this hat features 2 bedrooms and is made of recycled materials.
Oh,
I
it's
wonder what
ugly.
he'll do next. Given that it's Texas, I'm guessing either a Bible house or a handgun abode. Either way, if you love Dan's cowboy houses, give me a yeehaw down in the comments.
I do not.
London's thinnest house. With
Wow.
millions flocking to Britain's capital every year, it's easy to see why London leaves no stones unturned when finding space to accommodate its ever-increasing population. And at just 6 feet wide, this house in Shepherd's Bush, West London, looks like it's been on a diet. I know what you're thinking, who on earth could possibly live in that? But give it a chance, because beyond the blue exterior, things aren't so bad. With 5 stories and a total of over 1,000 square
stories.
feet of space,
Wow.
this deceptive property actually gives you all the space you need and more. Boasting 2 bedrooms, a great-sized bathroom, and even a study. You'll forget about the whole 6-foot wide thing. I guess the only thing that might be telling of the house's slim proportions is that you quite literally have to emerge through the floor to access the top bedroom.
Okay.
This neat little floor flap provides a gateway from the stairs to the bedroom and economizes space, meaning not one drop of space is wasted. So if you're a sleepwalker, I would highly suggest you make sure that thing is closed every night. Regardless, space clearly doesn't come in abundance here, but areas like the open-plan kitchen and dining room
I mean, it
still
looks
show how
nice.
pleasant living little can be. Still not impressed? Well, sweetening the deal is your own landscaped garden and roof terrace.
I mean,
Now,
it's
all
nice.
this obviously comes at a price, which, with its prime West London location and modern interior, comes up at a nauseating $1.3 million.
Ooh,
But nothing comes cheap in London town.
1,000
However,
square
if you've got
feet,
the money and don't need the
only
space,
6 feet
then
wide.
this house could be your own little spark in the big smoke.
Not for that price.
Love 2 House, Japan. Is it a plane? Is it a spaceship? Nope, it's just architect Takeshi Hosaka's home. Officially called Love 2 House, Takeshi built this 204 square foot home for him and his wife when they relocated to Tokyo. Takeshi could only obtain this tiny plot of land, so he wasted no time and put his profession to good use, resulting in this cozy yet unique home that is actually quite homely once you get past its industrial exterior. So, that huge metal roof, what's the deal? Well, according to Takeshi, it actually serves a very important purpose. The arched reflective opening allows for a soft flow of daylight to flood into the home year-round. And light wasn't the only thing that influenced Takeshi's design. Inspired by the architecture of Roman villas, He wanted to emphasize the importance of space for studying, bathing, drama, music, and philosophy. As long as there's enough space to store books, vinyl records, eat food, learn, think, and bathe, Takeshi and his wife are content in their modest
Wow.
yet arguably culture rich lifestyle. It seems Love 2 House is Takeshi's own kingdom, albeit a 204 square foot kingdom.
Wow. 204 square feet.
Carrot House, Poland. Cuddled between two existing structures in Warsaw, Poland, is Carrot House, more commonly referred to as the world's skinniest house. And when I say skinny, I mean it's a blink and you'll miss it kind of house. And when I say house, I actually mean art installation. Yep, this house is so skinny that it doesn't actually meet Poland's residential building codes.
Hmm.
But if you breathe in and walk sideways, you might just find it possible to live in this 3 foot wide estate.
3 foot
This
wide.
sliver of a house is equipped with all the essentials: a bedroom, kitchen, bathroom, and living area, meaning it has a few more amenities than your average shoebox. Jakub Szczesny, the creator of Carrot House, intended for this space to be used by traveling writers. Though if staying in a huge, expansive hotel was enough to drive a writer like Jack Torrance crazy, I'm not sure what would happen in this place. Here's Johnny! Tiny Tower, Philadelphia. If you had just a 12 by 29-foot plot of land available, there'd be barely enough room to swing a cat, let alone build a house. So, in wise words of 80s pop star Yaz, the only way is up. Yep, this slender home in Brewery Town, Philadelphia, officially called Tiny Tower, certainly lives up to its name by structuring itself like a miniature skyscraper. With a handsome 1,250 square feet of living space across 6 levels, this not so
6
high
floors.
rise has plenty of room at the inn. Not only that, but with a rooftop terrace and top quality modern finish throughout, this tiny tower reaches for the stars in more ways than one. And while it cost a not so tiny $250,000 to construct, this truly unique home offers a fresh and vibrant way of living that'll be sure to make you feel like a king or queen of your own castle. I guess the only problem is all those floors and no elevator.
Yeah, you'd be healthy going up
The
those
Wedge,
steps.
UK.
God,
Much like the
look
Pie
at
House
this.
as we've already seen, the Wedge, located in Cumbray, Scotland, has gained this apt nickname as a result of its tapered shape, which resembles a wedge of cheese. And just by looking at its 47-inch wide front, it's easy to write this one off. But stay with me, as it gets better. Extending to about 11 feet at the broader side of the wedge, this house is packed with one bedroom, a bathroom, kitchen, and living room, all while having stunning sea views.
Hmm.
Alright, so maybe it's not
So
quite
how much is that
Malibu,
going to cost?
and maybe a lick of paint wouldn't go amiss either. But for $113,000,
All
I
right,
think you're getting
that's
a
the
pretty
most
sweet
affordable.
deal. Oh, and did I mention that this is a record-breaking house? Yep, this home was featured in the Guinness Book of World Records for having the narrowest house front in the world. And if you needed more evidence of how skinny this home is, then look no further than its sign. Whether that's
They
intentional
couldn't put
or
the
the
E
letter
on.
genuinely ran out of space, that's pretty hilarious. London's Slim House. Yet another one of London's super skinny offerings, this house located in Battersea is the Mary Poppins' bag of skinny houses. While the exterior would suggest otherwise, this slimline city home somehow manages to pack in 4 bedrooms,
Wow.
along with all the other essentials. With thanks in no small part to its resourceful open floor plan, this skinny house certainly exceeds all expectations.
It's pretty.
And its front is just the tip of the iceberg. The house is flooded with natural light due to its sloped roof on the back end, making its limited space feel super bright and airy. There's a reason why they say good things come in small packages, am I right? Boston Spike House.
So that house, that was pretty. I could see myself living in that because you had the natural light, which would make it more comfortable. And it had a pretty little area in the back for a garden. So I could see myself living in that. That was pretty nice.
House. Like some of the abnormally skinny homes we've seen so far, This next one comes with quite the tale. This slender home is located in Boston, Massachusetts, and had some bitter beginnings. It all began around 150 years ago, when two brothers inherited some land from their father. While one of them was fighting in the American Civil War, the other decided to build a massive house solely for himself on their shared land.
Wow.
So you can imagine how annoyed the fighter of the family was when he returned home to see his brother had hogged all the land. So, as siblings so often do, the war hero brother got revenge by building this skinny house in the tiny space left at the side of his sibling's place. This meant anytime his brother took a look out of his side windows, he would always be met with his sibling's house, most likely with an angry, scowling sibling to match. And it's for that reason, as I'm sure you can understand, that the house is called Spite House.
Oh, another
Though
one.
the exterior is a measly 9 feet wide, this 4-story house accumulates a substantial 1,165 square feet of space,
Wow. It's
squeezing
bigger
in
than
2
my house.
bedrooms, a kitchen, dining area, and living room. So I think it's safe to say this vengeful brother sure made the most out of his second dibs plot.
Yeah, it's
But when
pretty.
it comes to the price, there's nothing second rate about its $1.7 million
Oh my
estimated
God.
value.
1.7 million?
House prices in the area of Boston already high. The addition of the Spite Home's high-spec interior, outdoor space, and roof deck leads estate agents to value its 1,165 square
I
feet
don't think so.
at around $1,500 per square foot.
Wow.
So while it's certainly not cheap, any resident will have all the pleasure of knowing they're ruining their neighbor's view. Tailored Tiny Australia. Tiny homes, motorhomes, and caravans are all the rage these days. Increasingly, people daunted by the prospects of affording a mortgage see the light in form of these transportable trailers. But can it really replace a home? Well, according to Matt and Lisa, a couple from Australia, it certainly can. They created their own pickup pad for just $90,000. And once you see
That's still a
inside,
lot.
you might be tempted to do so too. This not-so-tiny trailer, currently nestled into an Australian forest, provides the young couple with everything they need. And with it being transportable, they never need to worry about moving house, just moving the house. With its atrium design, they were able to fit in a bedroom mezzanine level, meaning the ground floor space can be used for their surprisingly spacious living room, kitchen, and bathroom. Using ingenious space-saving tactics, such as integrated kitchen appliances in the staircase, Matt and
That's
Lisa
clever.
exploit this 8-foot wide house for all the space it's got. Oh, and did I mention there's also a custom-built cat playground outside, too? Yep, this tiny tin really is perfect. So, there you have it. Which was your favorite tiny home? Be sure to let me know down in the comment.
Yeah, I mean, people live in trailer parks, and they're actually smaller than that house because that house has a second story. Most of the trailer parks don't have a second story. Some of them are like a double wide where they put two of them together. Um, but you can definitely make a home out of that and live. And then, of course, they have the beautiful scenery all around them. It's in the middle of the woods. So that wasn't bad at all. Again, I don't think you'd want to have a family in that because you wouldn't have space for children or whatever. But if you're a single person or just a couple, I don't think it's bad at all. The only one that I really truly did not like was the one that was the boot and the cowboy hat. That didn't do anything for me. I thought they were ugly to look at, both outside and inside. But leave your opinions in the comment section and let me know what was your favorite and if you agreed with anything I said or completely disagree. I'd be happy to know. All right. Well, I thank you for spending some time watching my channel, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you.